It's about to be 12 o'clock, and soon we are going to experience the changing of the background. Let the 1 minute pass, and it had been. And first, let me remove this warning of our what system regarding the system battery. Once again, let me adjust the camera positioning or my position of mine so I can be in center, front, and center of the camera. Okay, so we are not getting any new wallpapers, guys, because usually I do. As soon as the 12 clock hits, the wallpaper got changed. So never mind. Let's continue our JavaScript session. And before beginning, guys, I just want to remind you that the song for the day is "In the Flesh" by the Pink Floyd. This song has been in my mind since the morning. I don't know how many times I've listened for the day. And yes, and the as wallpaper we are getting Gurudwara. Is it a masjid as well? So we are getting it's like a concatenation of various holy places. This is gorgeous wallpaper, guys, and for this moment I was saying you to wait. And after glancing wallpaper, let's continue to our JavaScript session. So yeah, don't yeah. Let's navigate to Geek for Geek, and side by side opening our most favorite note editor app, VS Code, because it comes with all the goodies like running the code directly on the bare metal. And time to explore some JavaScript. I'm very sure in the last session we have completed a section. What was that? That was regex. No, that was event. Time for oops. Object oriented programming. First, let me close this update let's list first. And without any further delay, let's begin. And from here, we are going to start JavaScript oops. So let me write this JavaScript oops. Oops stands for object oriented programming. Here we are basically defines the real life object in terms of language syntax. Now we will start by learning classes in JavaScript. So what are the classes in JavaScript? Classes are the blueprint for creating object, okay, and is introduced in ES6. They encapsulate data and behavior by defining properties and method, enabling object oriented programming. Classes simplify the creation of object and inheritance, making code more organized and reusable. Okay, so by writing a class with a name, we are essentially creating a class. Okay, and for constructor, we are basically like a function, we are writing a constructor with its name and its task, and we are using the this keyword in order to make it belong to this class. This dot name, so this constructor has a name, and this dot task, this constructor has a task called helping geeks. Okay, so classes are similar to function. Here a class keyword is used instead of function keyword. Unlike function, classes in JavaScript are not hoisted. Okay, the constructor method is used to initialize. Okay, so the classes are not hoisted, but functions are hoisted, and even the function have two kinds: expression or declaration. So only declarative functions are hoisted, not even the expression ones. Okay, the constructor method is used to initialize. The class name is user defined. Okay, the class name is user defined. Okay, so we define this section. We have to write a syntax. Strictly you have to write class in order to define a class, but we can choose whatever the name we want. Then we have a constructor that takes a parameter, and this dot class name is equal to parameter. The constructor method in JavaScript is a special method used for initializing object created with a class. Okay, it's called automatically when a new instance of class is created. So is it the same thing by saying that the uh, what we say inheritance, that the object already consists of all the data? It typically assigns the initial value to object properties using parameter passed to it. This ensures objects are properly initialized upon creation. Let's learn this by example. We are creating a class called employee, and employee has a name and its age. So the name of an employee or the age of an employee are its constructor. So we're defining this dot name, which is a name, and this dot is which is an age. Okay, so we are creating employee with given the first parameter as its name and the second parameter as its age. And this is a very simple example of class. And if we get the employee one dot name, and if employee one dot age, we are getting this value, as we can see here and here. Next, this example demonstrates the use of constructor to create class in JavaScript. I think we are doing the same thing here. This example is used use class to create the object in JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript class use cases. Classes in JavaScript provide blueprint for creating object with similar properties and method. Objects are instance of class. Classes encapsulate data and behavior, promoting code reusability and organization. Objects created from classes have unique data but share the same method defined in the class blueprint. Okay, and you can create by using a predefined keyword named class before the class name. Good. And I am very sure that the quizzes for this chapter or this session would be nice, because class is such a basically object oriented programming is such a huge topic, and actually the interviewer's favorite topic. So we will going hard on this one. Let's go to ChatGPT. Yes, let's try our old buddy this time. Stay logged out here. Run. What keyword is used to define a class in JavaScript? Very easy question. Yeah. Okay. And in JavaScript, classes can have only one constructor method. I think false. Let's go with false this one, because we will learn something. Okay. In JavaScript, a class can only have one constructor method. And this is the thing that I've just learned. Okay, I'm very sorry. Okay, I accidentally closed the VS Code. Never mind. Let's open it again. And we have to paste that. Okay, now what is the purpose of extends keyword in JavaScript classes? We haven't learned this one yet. Extends keyword. So I will guess and then ask the Jeopardy. You tell me whether I'm correct or not. Which it automatically will. So I don't have to write that. I don't want an update. Next, what is the purpose of extend keyword in JavaScript classes? So what does extends mean? To make supersets of a previous class. It is pure guess, or some learnings from my previous Python journey. That's close. The extend keyword used to create a subclass that inherits property and method from a parent class superclass. This allows the subclass to use and override functionality from the parent class. Okay, so instead of making a superset, it is using creating a subset. Okay, but it also inherits the property of the parent class. Okay, 10. Okay, what is the following method is automatically called when an instance of a class is created? Constructor. I'm going with constructor. Hmm, I am confused in init because init is a keyword when creating, when I was reading OOPS, object oriented Python, object oriented programming in Python, we have to use the init keyword in order to create class, then we have to init. Let's go with constructor, this one. JavaScript classes can contain only method, not properties. False. Your guess, but let's see. JavaScript classes can contain both methods and properties. Okay, what is the purpose of super keyword in a subclass? To inherit from a parent class. Okay, that's a good start. The super keyword is used to call the constructor and method of a parent class from within a subclass. It allows the subclass to access and use properties and methods from parent class. Okay, and which one should I go? I prefer this response, and I am going to copy this. The super keyword, I have to highlight the super get call the constructor and methods of the parent class from within a subclass. It allows the subclass to access and use property. And I think I shouldn't have write it here, but let's never mind. We will come back after that when we are basically revising our notes till now. It's going to be a separate video. There will be content and flow of content on this channel. Okay, so which of the following is the correct way to create an instance of the class name animal? Let animal is animal.new. Let animal equal to animal, new animal. I think I'm going with A on this one because I've read somewhere new employee. Yes, new employee with a function bracket parenthesis. Hence, I'm going with A. Correct. In JavaScript, class methods are non-enumerable by default. What does it mean? But before getting an explanation from GPT, let me try to explain it. So, by being innumerable, which means it has to be an index, or means that the object or the methods or the properties inside of a class can be numbered, can be indexed. So the question is asking whether the class methods have an index by default, can be indexed by default. Let's see. Suspense is real on this one. Good question. In JavaScript, non-enumerable means that the properties, in this case a method, will not show up in loops and iterate over the properties of an object, such as the for in loop. Class methods are Class methods are not included in the object's enumerable property, which means they won't be listed when you try to access all the properties using certain method. Okay, so I will answer it false. लेकिन but I will also try to ask it a new question. Then how to make it one, because it says that it is not enumerable by default, but there must be a way in order to make it enumerable. Okay, to make a method you can use object.define property to explicitly set its property descriptor to make it enumerable. Object.keys.ins. What we did here, first we are creating a class, my class. Then we are using a constructor or a method, my method, okay, and which explicitly prints the hello statement on the console. We are creating an instance of the class. Then we are flagging it by object.define property instance my method, okay, and enumerable true. We are setting the enumerable flag to true. And now my method will be enumerable object.keys.instance, and it will include my. So what are the static method in JavaScript class? I don't know, but I should at least copy it. It will certainly help us in future. Next, what are the static method in JavaScript? I don't even heard about static method. Guessing if there is dynamic method too. No worries, static methods are feature of class in Java that will define the method that belong to the class itself, okay, rather than to the instances of class. This means that you can call static method without creating an instance of the class. Okay, so in order to create it, we have to use the word static. And I think this kind of thing should be saved here. Static methods are a feature of classes in JavaScript that allow you to define methods that belong to the class itself rather than to the instance of the class. This means that you can call static method without creating an instance of the class. Good. And as for the dynamic method, JavaScript does not have a formal term for that. However, instance method, that method that you can call an instance, could be considered dynamic because they operate on different specific instance data. Okay, next is, what is the output of the following code? This dot name is equal to name, and name is basically a parameter, and we will be greeting with a return statement, and person name is Alice, so it will take its parameter, then set the name as name, and it will return this dot name as Alice. I think B would be the right answer. Let's see if GPT is playing a game with us. Don't know why my internet is being very slow. Let me close all the applications in my smartphone first. There must be something that bugging with my internet. Yes, the output for the code is the same. Would you like to continue more questions? Yes, baby, please, more questions. How can you create a private field in JavaScript class? Guessing by the what we have learned until that, in order to create a static we have to use the keyword static. So let's guess using the keyword private, I guess. uh, this is yes, in JavaScript you can create private field in class using the hash syntax. Okay, so it actually fooled me, but we don't have to use what I say, mm, private keyword, but we have to use a hash symbol to to get a private field in a class. We can use hash symbol. Next, what does this keyword refer to inside of a class method? This keyword, the instance of a class, the parent class, the undefined. Inside a class method, it is not a global object, it is the instance of the class. I'm going with B in this one. Correct. Inside a class method, this keyword refers to the instance of class. True or false? You can use the delete operator to remove properties of a class from a class instance. True. If delete doesn't delete, then what does it do? Obviously, it deletes. What is the difference between a class and an object in JavaScript? What was the class? Class. Class is the class is like framework, useful for managing and what we have to what do we say to that? Rewriting and managing and prevent rewriting code, while object is a data type typically found as key value pair. E. That's a solid explanation. Which of the following can be used to create an instance of a class in JavaScript? Class.name create new class name, class name dot new, create class name. In order to create a new instance, we use a new keyword. So there's nothing new here. Next, what is the method of overriding in context of JavaScript classes? The method of overriding. What is the method of overriding? I don't know. I haven't heard this term. Method overriding occurs when a subclass provides a specific implementation of a method that is already defined in parent class. This allows the subclass to change and extend the behavior of the inherited method. Okay. See. Here's a quick example we have. A class is animal. We have a speak. and it returns animal sound. Class dog, we are extending the animal so it can speak, but it returns a bark. So we are overriding the animal sound with this bark. Hence, we are what we are creating method overriding here. Okay. Next is what will be the output of following code? Constructor this dot name is equal to class A. Class B extends A with a constructor. We here we are calling super. Super means we are calling all the methods of this instance as well, and this dot name class B. So essentially, we are overriding this const object equal to new B object dot name. We are getting this one because we are overriding it. So I think we would be getting B. But it then overrides the name property with class. True or false? You can create an instance of a class using the class name directly without the new keyword. Nope. Nope. Okay, what does the static keyword do? Defines the uh, static method. Okay, so it can be called without what if without creating an instance of a class. Can you please simplify this? Let's ask for an example. And here we have a static add and static multiply. So mathutils.add, mathutils.multiply. So we can do this without any creating an instance. And here is our question. Now what is the output of the following code? This dot value is equal to 10. Static get value, return this dot value. So now we are creating an static and we have using get value. I think we should be getting 10. Hence the answer would be A. Actually, the current answer is error. The get value static method trying to access the dot value, but the values is an instance property. It is not a okay. Static methods cannot access instance property directly. I think right now we are fine with this. Let's move to next web page. But before moving, I just want to drink some water because I'm thirsty and I'm sure you guys also. So I am pausing a video for a bit here and I will as soon as continue. So if you are also not hydrated, do that right now because I am. Hydration of throat done, and let's hydrate our brain with class expression. Here we are going to see that JavaScript class is a type of function declared with a class keyword and that is used to implement an object-oriented paradigm. Constructors are used to initialize the attributes of a class. There are two ways to create a class in JavaScript. First is class declaration and the second is class expression. Okay. The class expression is another way of creating class in JavaScript. They can be named or unnamed. If named, the class name is used internally but not outside of class. Using the name class expression. Okay, new class name. Variable name is equal to class body. new class name, class body, and this is directly class. So const website equal to is a class which is called geek, and this dot name is equal to name website name, return this dot name. Okay, so here we are defining a constructor and here we are defining a method. And in this second section, what we are seeing is a class expression. Const website equal to class constructor name, this dot name. Okay, website geek for geek dot return name, and here we have new website geek for geek console dot x dot website name, and that's all. Let's go to quiz. There must be something with my internet. I don't know why the internet is so today. I haven't used my data at all. Sure. Why not? Let's dive into JavaScript. What is a class expression in JavaScript? It is a way to define a class using a variable or a method to create anonymous class, a shorthand for defining class. I think I will go with D this one, because we can also create unnamed class, which might be anonymous classes. A class expression can be indeed both a way to define a class using a variable and a method to create an anonymous class. Second, true or false. In a class expression, the class name is optional if it's defined as a variable. In a class expression, the class name is optional if it's defined as a variable. True. And this is what we call the unnamed class, I guess. That's correct. And the statement in class expression, the class name is optional if it's assigned to a variable, making it possible to create an anonymous class. How would you define a name class expression? Give an example. Named class expression. How would you define a named class expression? Okay, so we have to exemplify. Example for the name class expression is this. Okay, so here we don't have a constructor written here, but that's the same. Okay, which of the following is a valid way to define anonymous class? I think this one. A will do the work, I guess. That's correct. Next, you can instantiate a class defined by a class expression just like regular class. True. By using the new keyword. Okay. What is the main advantage of using class expression over class declaration? First of main naming advantage. You tell me. try to be in key points, bullet points. First is anonymous classes. Class expression can create anonymous class which can be useful for temporary or one-off use. Dynamic definition, the class expression can be conditionally or within function, allowing for more dynamic class creation. Immediate invocation, you can define and instantiate a class in a single statement, making code more concise. And scope control, class expression can be confined to a specific scope or block, improving encapsulation. Truly speaking, this thing was in my mind because I know with a variable there comes a scope thing. So this was definitely in my mind, and slightly this one, because we can define that because it is a just like a variable, so we can apply certain conditions to it. So only these two things are in my mind, not this one, neither this one. As a concreted which can be used for temporary or one off use, and in immediate you can define an instantiated class in single statement, making code more concise. Okay, so let's a few more questions, few more uh couple more questions, please. What will the following code output? And this dot name anonymous class constant instant on my class and instance dot name anonymous class. Correct. A class expression that can be assigned to a variable but cannot be passed as an argument to a function. False. The class expression can also be passed to an argument to a function. Now, can a class expression can be used in a function creating return statement? Okay, can a class expression be used in a function return statement? If so, provide an example. Let's turn the table and summon the Bing GPT and ask the same question to this guy, because in the previous video we are doing the opposite. Yes, a class expression can be used in a function return statement. Here's an example. Okay, so I think we only require this much of code. See what it has to say. That's a great example. Returns an anonymous class that can be instantiated. Instantiated every elsewhere. Here how you might use it. And these two are exactly the same example. So this is quite a proof that the both engines are the same. Never mind, that's none of our business. What is the primary difference between a class declaration and a class expression? A class declaration must have a name and expression can be anonymous. Declarations are hoisted, expressions are not. Class expressions can be defined inside a function. Declarations cannot. I am going with A on this one because I have heard that the no classes are hoisted. While yes, a class declaration must have a name and expression can be anonymous is true. While the most comprehensive answer is all of the above. Class declaration are hoisted and class expression can indeed be defined inside function while declarations are not. I still am not able to believe it because I have just written somewhere. Copy it, paste it, do some necessary modifications. Let's start it. Is it true that class is not hoisted in JS? Then how? Class declaration. These are not hoisted the way function declarations are. You need to define the class before you can initiate it. Otherwise, you get a reference error. For example, new class equal to class new class throws reference error. The class expression it is simple to function expression. These are not hoisted and also need to be defined before they are used. Okay. Sorry. With both declaration and expression, their presence in code must precede their uses. Think about defining the blueprint before constructing the building. So while you may have come across some confusion due to nuances in different languages, in JavaScript, both forms should be set up in order. Okay. Okay. And yes, we have finished the class expression. Let's ask some quiz with it. Letting ChatGPT quiz us. I don't know why, but I right now I just feel like to read a lyrics of a song, which is very, very, very small lyrics. Please allow me. The song is "In the Flesh." In the Flesh lyrics. Pink Floyd. Images. I'm going with images in this one, and where it was, and we are getting all form of scores in this, but not I was looking. So let's go to a website, then read the lyrics from. So it's just a small song. It starts as, so yeah, thought ya might like go to the show to feel the warm thrill of the confusion, that space carrot glow. Tell me it's something alluring you, sunshine. Is this not what you expected to say? If you wanna find out what's behind these cold eyes, you will just have to claw your way through this disguise. I just actually, this is not the way it was. The lyrics fills with joy and the melancholic theme of the music, and then we have a guitar solo from the David Gilmer, I guess, because he's the guitarist for the band. And what a song is this, man! You must at least listen this is a very short song, only of 3 minutes, in which majority of the song is silent, and it starts with a kicking drum. That was great feeling ever. And I think I have had my time, and let's move to JavaScript. Which of the following is the correct way to define an anonymous class expression? Const my class equal to class. My class is equal to new class. Okay. Eh, aren't we asking, we're getting the same question? Like guys, YouTube is not the place where I can play music and we all can enjoy. Some channel do, but it have to be copyright protected or something, which I don't want to fiddle with in my channel. I want to be just plain as vanilla as possible. Okay, so const my class is a valid way to define an anonymous class expression. A class expression can have its own name if it's assigned to a variable. And with the internet this slow, I'm not able to question it. What is going on with my internet? A class expression can have its own name if and if it assigned to a variable. True. How can you create a named class expression and use it to instantiate an object? Okay. And this is named class. What will the following code output? And yes, we are getting the same question indeed. So I'm not continuing with this and move to our next sheet. So it is asking, actually the student class expression can be defined anywhere in your code, including inside function block. While they are not hosted, they can be used dynamically, which allows for greater flexibility. Okay. So we are referring as not hosting as a pro point here, plus point here, not as its weakness. Okay? Class expression over a class declaration. I never thought, and I was quitting this quiz because this quiz it's now getting spicy. Anonymous, dynamic, and scoped. No, let's we will cover a different topic. Object constructor. So how many of these are? 4, 5, and 5 here. So we will cover the 5 in this video, and then the remaining 5 will be covered in a next video. Okay. Object. An object is a collection of related data or functionality in the form of key. These functionalities usually consist of several functions and variables. All JavaScript values are object except primitive. Okay. Here the subject and language are keys and programming and JavaScript are values. Okay. We have class declaration ABC, this dot G, this dot F, and this dot GG is equal to A. Okay. Constructor ABC. Our class name is GFG. Okay. This refers to the address of the key. Key and so what are this? Key or value? It must be key. This dot G refers to A, and with a space this dot F which refers to B. Okay. And here A and B are this, the parameters. This keyword refers to the object it's belong to, like the OOPS language, C++, C#, Java. This keyword is used in different ways to different areas. While executing a function in JavaScript that has a reference to its current execution context and is referenced by which the function or data member is called. In the previous example, adding property to an object, the property can be added to an object using a dot operator or a square bracket. GFG dot subject or GFG subject. Adding a property to a constructor, we cannot add a property to an existing constructor like adding a property to an object. Okay. And in this case, the value of geek is not passed as argument. Hence, adding a method to an object, we can create a new method using an existing object. gfg.n is equal to function this dot a plus this dot b. Here the object is gfg and adding a method to a constructor. This dot n is equal to function. Okay, I think I need to copy this line. We cannot add a property to an existing constructor like adding a property to an object. For adding, we need to declare it under the constructor. Okay. And constructor is a function that initializes an object. In JavaScript, the constructor are the most similar to normal Java constructor, but we don't know Java, do we? At least I don't know. So in JavaScript, there is a special constructor function known as object. Is used to create and initialize an object. The return value of an object constructor is assigned to a variable. The variable contains a reference to the new object. We need an object constructor to create an object type that can be used multiple times without redefining the object every time. Okay. Here, GFG is a constructor name and the ABC are the arguments of the constructor. We are instantiating an object constructor. There are two ways to instantiate the object constructor. Var object name equal to new object or new object Java, JavaScript, C Sharp. In first method, the object is created by using new keyword like normal oops language. Okay. In the second method, the object is created using curly braces. Okay. We use need to call it as a literal method. There are two ways to assign property to an object: using a dot operator or using third bracket. It should have written as a square bracket. I think we need to do a lot quiz from this web sheet. Quiz me. Copy this. Once again. Oh no. I think I got a change in wallpaper. I have to look it again. Let's start with some questions about JavaScript object constructor. What is the primary purpose of an object constructor in JavaScript? To create object instance, to define method, to create a prototype, or to store data? Object constructor. I'm going with A in this one. To create an object instance. But I am slightly lean toward this, to store data. Object constructors can only be created using function declaration. False. Or even EX6 class syntax. Okay. Uh, Exemplify this. Okay. Function declaration. Make model year. Okay. Function expression. Okay, this was declaration. This is expression, which is bike equal to function make model year. Make is equal to make model year. Okay. And ES class syntax. Class plain constructor. Good. How do you create an object using the constructor function? Please provide an example. Create an object using constructor function. Constructor function. I think this is what this want is this. Constructor function. Let's see. Mhm. Next, what keyword is used to create a new instance of an object in JavaScript? A new keyword. So B would be the right answer. Correct. Next is You can add method to a constructor function prototype after the function has been defined. You can add methods to a constructor function prototype after the function has been defined. Can we add methods? Yes, true. We can add method. We cannot add a property to an existing constructor, but we can add method, I guess. Okay. So I wrongly pressed it twice and it stopped its output. The purpose of prototype property in JavaScript object constructor is allow you to define methods and properties that can be shared across all instances of the constructor. By adding properties or method to the properties, all instance of a constructor can access them without duplicating them for each instance, which helps them to save memory and improve performance. I think I am done with this. Let's move to next page. Static method. I am very sure that we already knew a lot thing about static method due to the quizzes we already had. And a great thing to revise is that static methods are a feature of classes in JavaScript that allows you to define methods that belong to the class itself rather than to instances of class. This means that you can call static method without creating an instance of the class. Static methods cannot access instance property directly. Keep that in mind. Okay. This keyword is used to call a static method within any other static method in JavaScript. What does it mean? Let's copy it and have explanation over it. Explain. Sure thing, in JavaScript, this within a static method refers to the class itself, not the instances of the class. This allows you to call other static method within a static method. Okay. This dot method one. Okay, so we can call an static method using this dot and then the method name. Headphones with glasses is such a pain in the ear. Not because the headphones are tight, but because the sticks or the handle of the glasses is caught right between the ear and head, and it causes the area to be swollen and painful. And it's not a good thing. Let's continue. My class has two static method, method 1 and method 2. Within method 2, this dot method 1 is used to call method 1. Here this refers to my class itself. This within a static method is a reference to the class, making it possible to call other static methods directly. Hmm. The following code is to invoke one static method. Okay. And I know that there must be a function that we are returning the nested static method. No. Well, that escalated quickly. Let's copy this, pasting it to this, close this. What does this static method belongs to in JavaScript? An instance of a class, the class itself, the prototype of a class, and a parent class. And I think instance of a class, because because I've just seen here, mm, refers to the class itself, not the instance of class. Hence, B. This within a static method, not the instance of class. This thing also need to be added here. And I think I can join these two. A static method belongs to the class itself rather than instances of class. So I know that something that belongs to these instances of class. What are they? Norm methods. Now, true and false. Static methods can be called instances of class. Can be called. True. True or false, true or false. But they can be someone without actually setting up the instances of. How do you define a static method? Using static keyword. And we have an example here. The method example one is defined. Okay, so we are basically recalling what the function is doing. So none of that matters. Next, which of the following is a valid use case for static method? To create instance specific behavior, to perform utility function related to class, to store instance data, to override instance method. I am going with B on this one. But what are the utility function? Okay, so such functions that do not require access to the instance data. Next, static methods can access instance properties directly using this. Okay, no, false. Can you override a static method in subclass? If so, how would you do it? Override a static method in a subclass. I haven't heard of this. So let's ask the GPT. Okay, just like normal method, we can override this as well. What will the output of following code? My class static my class method return hello from static method. Okay, and we are calling this my class dot my class method. But we haven't instantiated. But it is a static method, so hello from static method will be called. If there is no static keyword, then we are getting an undefined error or a error simply. Next, static property can be defined in the same way as static method in JavaScript classes. Mm, Static properties. Have we heard about a static property as well in this video? Property, static and const. No, we haven't heard anything about it. Tell me about static property. Static property in JavaScript are defined to the class itself rather on the instances of class. This means you can access static property without creating an instance of the class. Okay. Okay. So we can write true by using the static keyword. And let's continue to this. Defined on class static method attached to class, not instances. Use class name dot property to access its static property. Okay. And purpose often used for utility function or constant related to class, but not specific to instances. Okay. I know, guy. And no, we will not continue with any more questions and move to next sheet, JS prototype, which will be the last web sheet of the today. I don't know why, but I'm slightly in hurry because last night my sleep was not complete and I still feeling sleepy. So why not? Let's complete our sleep. And sleep and food must be in order because neither my sleep was okay last night nor my food is. So I don't want to compromise in both of that today. So never mind, let's continue. JavaScript is a prototype based. Automatically add the prototype property to the function upon creation. This prototype object allows attaching methods and properties, facilitating inheritance for all objects from the function. Function.prototype. Okay. I'm not getting anything here. I think we should use a different tool this time. Simplify language. Let's see what it do here. Let's copy this. Make a new file here. Let's erase our test file and paste it. I need you guys to study from here. Okay. Is there a way to? Never mind. Let's all make it a comment. So in JavaScript, every object can have a prototype. Okay. A prototype is another object that the first object can use. This helps in sharing properties and method. When you create an object, it look like at its prototype for the things it need. If it can't find them, it checks the prototype's prototype. This process continues until it finds what it needs or reaches the end. You can add properties and methods to the prototype. This way, all objects that use that prototype can access them. Using prototypes helps save memory and make code easier to manage. It allows better organization and reuse of code. Okay, so we don't need this type of complex diagram. I think diagrammatically it is trying to explain this thing easier way, but I don't know why this looks overwhelming to me. So never mind. Actually, I think we got it, and let's ask ChatGPT. Quiz me. Copy it again. Move to our extra large ChatGPT and run some quiz as soon as possible. What is the function or purpose of prototype? To create private variables to inherit properties and method. B. Next, every JavaScript object has a prototype. Yes, true. Because this is written here, every object can have a prototype. Next, how do you add a method to an object prototype? Please provide an example. Person.prototype.greet is equal to function. Okay. Okay. So we can do this. Dot prototype dot greet equal to function. What will be the output of the following code? A function which is animal. This dot type equal to animal. The animal dot prototype dot speak equal to function return roar. A constant animal new animal dot speak a roar. Okay. And now, true or false, you can change an object prototype at any time in JavaScript. Can we? True. I have heard somewhere that the properties cannot be we cannot add a property to an existing constructor. Okay. It is nothing about prototype. What is the relationship between object and its prototype? So the relationship can be explained with this line. This correctly defines the relationship. And which of the following method can be used to set the prototype of an object? Object.create, object.set prototype of, proto property, all of the above. I think D would be the right answer. Going with D on this one. Correct. The answer is D, all of the above. You can use the object.create and the property to set the prototype. The prototype chain is used for property lookup, but it cannot be used for method inheritance. I don't know. You tell me with example. ChatGPT is such a teacher that you can ask question for a question and even ask for the explanation. Prototype chain is indeed used for both property lookup and method inheritance. Okay. Okay. Uh, First, after copying this, we will understand this code because this need to be understood and for once for all. So starting from the method inheritance. What we are doing here is first we are defining a function animal. We have this dot type, so we have the type of animal as animal. Okay, then we are defining its prototype, animal dot prototype dot speak equal to a function which returns roar by default. And here we are creating a new function called dog, and we are calling its parent, which is this animal dot call this. We are returning this. So usually the default thing that it returns is a roar. Okay. So dog dot prototype object dot create animal dot prototype inherits from the animal this thing, and dogs dot prototype dot constructor equal to dog sets the constructor correctly. Sets the constructor correctly, but here we don't have any constructor. I think we are setting this animal as dog, but no. Return back. I think I am not still able to get it. Let's try to define. Explain. And let's see. I will not leave this until I got it completely. Only then the video will be closed. So we are defining a function animal. This dot type is equal to animal. We are constructor function which is an animal sets up an object with the type property. Okay. Prototype method. We are using the animal dot prototype dot speak that adds a speak method to the animal's prototype. Okay. Okay, good. Now we are defining a dog function with animal which calls its parent, which is the animal. Okay. Then we are inheriting the things from the animal, which is object dot create animal dot prototype. Okay. And then we are updating it the constructor as dog. this pick as the function return bark. Okay, and using the classes. Const my dog is equal to new dog. Can my code be simplified by using standard class? We can simplify it using ES6 classes. So we are making a class animal. We have constructed this dot type is equal limit, and we have a method which is speak that returns roar. The class dog extends the animal with a constructor. We call it super. Basically, it calling it the animal class. Okay. Then we are overriding the speak behavior as bark, and then we are doing the same. So this is why the updates are needed, not this update, because this is just bothering me to update it. Why update? Because it's working very fine. And the Arch Linux, which is also infamously famous for breaking while updating, I don't want to risk anything. My life is right now going mediocrely good, so I don't want to break it. So updating VS Code will break my Linux installation. Such a lame thing to say. But never mind. So it's already 1:30. Let's see. The video is almost around 1 hour and 27 minutes. That's nothing too long. So let's guys, time to close or wrap up this video. We will meet again. Until we meet again. Bye. See you. See you guys.